This is breaking news.
New at 6, we are learning more about the moments leading up to a deadly shooting at a Mount Horeb middle school.
Tonight, we've also learned none of the officers involved in that shooting on May 1st will face criminal charges.
And we look through multiple surveillance videos and body camera video released by the DOJ showing exactly what happened that day.
We want to warn you, the video we're about to share may be hard to watch, but we feel it's important to show what happened that day. Take a look. There are multiple surveillance and police cameras on that day. Some show the student carrying what looks like a rifle. He walks around the school, approaching several doors, even trying to break the window on one. In one clip, someone appears to close the doors just before the student gets to it. In another part of town, police get the call.
We have people running from the Mount Horeb Middle School now, that there was an active shooter response.
As the officer drives, police prepare for an active shooter.
Let's get EMS started.
The first officer to make contact outside the school appears to approach the student, then backs away as the student appears to follow him around the car. Another officer arrives on scene and orders him to drop the weapon.
Drop it!
A third officer also arrives as they're giving the order to drop the rifle. That's when they open fire. At least 3 officers fired their weapons.
Drop it!
The student is seen falling and getting back up twice, moving towards the officers.
Suspect still moving on the ground with the rifle.
After falling a third time, it's over.
The subject is down. Officers are okay.
And new at 6, we're also learning more about the evidence agents collected from the teen's home and backpack. And this may also be hard to hear and process, but again, we're sharing some of these details because it helps to give context and in this case speaks to the teen's state of mind. First, a photo of the wall in his bedroom. You can see the teen wrote in black marker to police saying, quote, "To the officer that has to shoot me, I'm sorry. It is not your fault." Officers found notebooks with handwritten notes, including one where he wrote, quote, "Don't follow my destructive path. Please forgive me." Officers also discovered multiple items in his backpack, including a box of long rifle ammunition and a Molotov cocktail with uranium. Now, the notes also referenced his plans. At one point, he called it an attack and also wrote about going to the high school afterwards. This is just a snapshot from the 1,600-page report and all of those digital videos and photos released today by the DOJ.